Hey.
Hello, welcome to TNT, the #1 podcast on Twitter, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. If you love tech, you're in the right place. My name's Darren, and I'm joined here tonight by Sam, Roddy, 2NA, and Michael. How's it going, guys?
It's going.
What's up?
How's it going? All right, so it's a big week in tech, as it always is, and a few things we're going to jump right into today. So I think we'd actually start with the only member of this team who actually has the device, and that's Tuna. You've got the OnePlus 11.
Yes, right here.
All right.
I got the green. It's hard to see on the camera. It's green. That's a green color.
All right. So let's start with thoughts. Now, let's get some context here first. So when was the last time you had a OnePlus device?
I've had every OnePlus device since the original.
Oh, okay. So you're like
I'm not a huge fan. I don't keep them very long, but I've always been kind of I've been kind of partial to them for a while. So I may be a little biased, but there are some issues I've noticed with the phone, but we'll get there.
Okay. So for me personally, the last one I had was the 8 Pro, which was I liked it. I used it for quite a while, actually, the 8 Pro there. But I skipped the 9 and the 10 just for different reasons. However, so, a lot of people are talking about it online. A lot of people want to know what the story is. Is it worth buying? What are your thoughts, bud? Tell us how you feel.
It's a fantastic device. I'll start with that. But I have the issues I have are not software. Maybe they're software related. Simple as, when you unlock the screen, for some reason, I get that. Have you guys ever had that notification on the top when you're covering like the sensors and it says, "Hey, pocket detected," or I don't know if you've ever seen that before.
Oh,
maybe it's a Samsung device to do that. I don't know what happens, but when I'm holding the phone with my left hand and I unlock it, it pops up saying I'm covering the sensor, but there's nothing near the sensor. Then I'm not sure what that issue is. It just didn't update a couple days ago, and I haven't seen it as much. So maybe it was something that they noticed. And I had touchscreen issues. I honestly, when I'm swiping up just to go to like the app drawer, it doesn't want to respond right away. Nothing major. I don't know if it comes with a prepackaged screen protector, so that definitely could be the issue. I always keep that. If it comes with it for free, I'm not going to take it off.
I love the pre-installed screen protectors. It pisses me off that Samsung got rid of that.
Yes. Well, my Fold 4 or 3 had them on there still, but the Fold 4 I can't remember if it did or not. But the camera,
go ahead.
This Hasselblad crap everyone talks about, I don't know if it makes a difference or not, but I've been pretty impressed. I think if you're spending $600-700 on a phone, unless you're in a vacuum and you have all the cameras next to them, like the tech YouTubers do, and you can see every single picture. Yeah, you can nitpick, but without having any camera around, and I have this in my pocket and I'm taking pictures, I think it takes fantastic pictures. I've always been kind of partial to them, and they've come a long way since what was it, the 7 that had the pop-up selfie camera that used to pop up the top. They've come a long way.
Pro.
Yeah. So I'm actually pretty impressed. It feels good in the hand. It's the right size. Again, I wish it had wireless charging, but it came with, I think it was an 80-watt charger in the box. And that thing, I swear to God, 22 minutes, I think I was at 20%, and it charged right up. It comes out of the box. It comes out of the box at 1080p. So I upped that.
Okay.
The battery life isn't as good as, I hate to say this, not that you guys have this phone, but the Red Magic. I don't have the S23 yet, but the Red Magic Pro, I don't know. It's a 6,000 milliamp hour battery in that. Yeah. But the battery life isn't near as good as that either. But it's definitely not bad. I could probably, with average
Is it pixel level good? Which is just not a high bar to clear, but.
Oh, it's better than the 7 Pro for sure. I'd say 2 days normal usage out of it. With the Red Magic, I'm getting 3, 2.5, 3. Wow. So I don't do screen on time and all that stuff, but I just mess with it. And for $699 right now, they're running a deal where it's like I think it's the 16 gig 256 for $699.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't beat that price for and 4 years of security updates, or is it 5 years of security updates and 4 years of OS updates? As long as they don't go out of business.
Through Amazon, right?
Both.
Oh,
Amazon and OnePlus, and maybe Best Buy too. I don't know.
And Amazon has that. Amazon has that deal where they were doing that price plus the $100 gift card thing.
Well, here's my issue. I use gift cards to buy it, so they wouldn't let me do that. I'm thinking, hey, I'll use my gift cards to buy it, and they'll give me $100 back, but they wouldn't let me do that. So,
No, because
honestly, I would
gift card with a gift card, and the way they do it is they attach the $100 gift card, and then they give you a $100 credit. To counter it, basically.
Now I did an unboxing video, and I'm trying to do a little bit of a review on that phone because a lot of people have been asking me about that for some reason. I didn't know there was that much interest in OnePlus. But I think people are just maybe they're looking for something different.
There is because it's new. Give it a month, nobody will care. I mean,
you're right.
It's a shame. It's just a shame because it's terrible because the devices are really, really good and they should have, a lot more visibility. But you know how it's going to go. Every OnePlus device in the last 5 years has been in the same boat. So
they've made a lot of sacrifices from here and there. Like there are some sacrifices on this phone, but nothing that's going to keep you from buying the device. So I think the cameras are great. I wish it had more than a 2x zoom. But if you want more zoom, you go with the S23 or the Pixel with the super res zoom or whatever. So I've been impressed.
Let me just ask you, what was your favorite OnePlus device?
I'm going to say the 9. I mean, the one holds a special place in my heart just because of the price. Back then, we're giving you a near flagship device at a budget. They don't do that anymore.
Yeah,
the 9.
Day, eh?
Yes, God, I used to the sandstone feel in the back.
Yeah,
I got my dad hooked on that one. But I would say the 9, just because that's when they started going a little more upscale with the quad HD screen and the better cameras. And I had last year's. I think I had the 8T and the 10T as well. But I don't like the T series. It seems like a mid upper
like the S series from Apple.
Right. Well, they don't really like this year. It's the 10R or whatever, and they released it in India, I think, only, or other parts, where they're not going to make a big deal out of it. But I'll have more thoughts on a video later down the road. But if anybody has questions in the comments, go ahead and ask them. I'll answer the best I can. I've been trying to use it, but when you have 6 devices, it's kind of hard to
rotate between.
I think in India it was the 9RT. That's the India specific.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, you're right.
I like that McLaren, the McLaren edition that they never put out. That was so cool.
Did you see the teaser for? Did you see the teaser for the new one? The new. So they teased it on Twitter. I follow them. There's a new device. They have the new concept coming out in MWC, and they show the camera bump, which is really, really huge. And it's got kind of like the Nothing phone, but there's a bunch of blue neon string lights all over the back.
I did see that, yeah.
Yeah, and it's saying it's going to have something. I don't know if it's camera, but it sounds like it's camera related. They're going to have something, nothing else. It can't be that different, but they're saying
3D camera, maybe.
Ooh, I don't know. Everyone's going in 3D this year. ZTE is doing that 3D tablet and stuff. So
I just hate OnePlus because of the schizophrenic ways they approach the devices. Okay, we're taking the alert slider, then we'll give it back. Then we're going to do this. No wireless charging. Now
you're right.
Wireless charging. Now we're going to have and then the McLaren comes out for 1 year, and then they have this concept phone that never gets released. It's like they are infuriating. With the fact that
they had a charging brick in the box.
Have any
he did get a charging brick.
An 80-watt charging brick in the box. I mean, you don't get that anymore. Hell, the Red Magic came with a 65-watt. It's crazy.
That concept phone they did was intriguing to me because of the electrostatic.
Covered
the back, but the idea that you could basically have an adjustable ND filter was one of the things that they did.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to get that where you can. The actual for capturing water, so you could do the long exposures in the middle of the day because you could make it really dark, or then at night you could just completely open it up and make it clear, and some of the stuff the ideas of that, but then they never really released it. I'm like, that's why it's a concept phone.
Yeah.
Here, Darren, I'll take that case off for you. Does that look better with the case off?
Oh, it's very nice, very nice. Yes.
It's too shiny. It's a fingerprint magnet.
That camera bump's fucking huge. How do people feel about the look of that?
I don't think it looks bad at all. Look, the phones we have nowadays, everything's big.
I think it looks good. Yeah, I think it looks good.
A little bit of the,
it looks good.
Look at that. You dig?
It doesn't look as good as the Pixel, but
that Xiaomi one that they did, that's like the whole entire back of the phone, like half the back.
The 12S Ultra, was it? Yeah,
that much down, and
I mean, look, OnePlus has always been kind of one of these companies where you kind of rooting for them. You kind of want them to kind of get up and show all these big tech companies, hey, we can do what you can do at half the price, and and get people and steal some consumers away from you. And it's kind of it's a bit of a sad story because just what Tuna said there, he's basically saying with the 1 to 3 at least, I would say, generations of OnePlus. Those were rock stars. Those were the phones that people were going to when you wanted to be ahead of the curve. You know, you wanted something different. You wanted something new and original. And like you said, the Sandstone back, their Sandstone cases are still the best cases that I gravitate towards when I buy a OnePlus device. That's what I want. It's what I know. How would you say the experience has been using their flavor of Android?
One thing I don't like, and this is the only I can tell you that I don't like, is when you swipe down from the notification shade. And with most phones, you can swipe back and forth either way. But for some reason, you've got to go 1, 2 every time you go through notification shade. So it takes 2, and you can't go the other way. And I looked through the settings. I didn't see anything it can change. But that kind of stuff can be updated. And OnePlus of old used to listen to their consumers and change those things. But that kind of stuff doesn't bother me. It's like any other phone. You go from Samsung to Apple to LG. They all have a little bit of differences. You just got to get used to it.
I know. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
I was going to say, it's not going to pull Dalvon from Pixels anytime soon.
No.
Well,
nothing's doing that.
Oh, it will. Actually, it will. It will pull them. I know it will.
Yeah.
No. If they put a full frame sensor on that camera, whatever phone gets a full frame sensor, I'm buying it. That will pull me away from my Pixel.
Ooh, I think that pull a lot of people from there.
You heard it. You heard it here first.
Google. Are you listening? Google.
One of the things I always appreciated about OnePlus was they were the first company device that I used that did dark mode the right way, where if you enabled it in the OS, it basically you didn't have to go into each individual app. They basically said to the app developers, like, do it this way. And it was kind of because Apple did that with the iPhone too, but all the other carriers were like, we're going to make it so that you can choose, and the app developers aren't required to do the system setting override thing. And it was really weird. Or they could have like gray mode, and OnePlus is like, nope, everything has to be full actual dark mode. Yeah. And even their gestures were, at least I recall, I didn't have as many issues with false gestures as far as some of the apps that had the hamburger menu on the side. Sometimes when you swipe in, you get my OnePlus never had that as far as, and I think their cameras have been good for a while. I mean, people have that thing, but I'm like, okay, is it usable? Like, I think we're more stringent about the quality of cameras than a lot of people. But I think, like, I had the 6T, the 7T, the 8, the 9. I think pretty much everything like 7T and forward was pretty well usable as far as stuff and like software updates and like even the night mode and some of the stuff that they were doing and bringing in like the pro mode and some of the options. I think they were usable. It was more the video that they needed to work on. And that was my experience, at least.
Yeah. Well, actually, the funny thing is system-wide dark mode actually was first on Windows Phone in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep.
And they couldn't even change the accent color. So that wasn't OnePlus. That was Windows Phone. They had system-wide dark mode.
I think they were competing.
And Windows Hello and, wireless charging on the 950.
I was just talking on the Android side is what I was talking, because obviously other companies have had, like Nokia's done some crazy stuff. But I was just looking at like the 9 Peer View, talking about big cameras having all those little holes on the back of it for the 9 different cameras that they did with that. Was crazy.
Was it Nokia that did that?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Peer View, the 9 Peer View.
Yeah. Yeah, that was them flexing their muscle, saying, "Here are a whole bunch of sensors that we can't sell in other phones. We're going to throw them in one phone and see what the fuck happens." But can you imagine if that had actually worked? Like, imagine if they'd managed to take 9 cameras and crafted just an amazing photograph experience from that. I mean, I know, Sam, you're a big fan, and you're a proponent of the Lumia. And still to this day is probably one of the greatest smartphones that have ever been released.
Well, yeah, if you're looking at colors, they crushed it with colors back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah,
when you look at polycarbonate, those phones were indestructible. You didn't need a case, right? You just and I mean, it was like, and just the feel in the hand. I mean, the 10, even the 1020, as far as camera capability, I mean, you could still get away with some decent shots on a 1020 here 8 years later. So it's I'm never gonna apologize for my shilling and homerness for Windows phones.
But what about the iPhone 5C? Like, I thought
come on, man.
Remember that old one?
Yeah.
Good times. You know, it was funny. I was thinking, just getting back to the whole charging thing with the fast charger in the box. So, you know, I was having to think about this earlier today. You know, like, it's funny that these companies can't put these chargers in these boxes. When you look at companies like Anker, who are managing to put fast charger in a box, selling a fast charger that's the size of this, you know, like a tiny little square. Like, what's to say you can't find a little bit of box space to just slot that in there, right? Like, it seemed, and I know it's to force you to go and buy their chargers.
No, it's to save the world. It's to save the whales. Yeah. Come on.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. The whales eat chargers, right? Yeah. But I think the more interesting thing is that, you know, for a lot of these companies, I mean, and this is where I think you're going to see Apple, when they come back with this year with the USB-C alleged charging and all of that nonsense, I think you're going to see again with like a very specific type of charger that's only going to be Apple specific. And I wouldn't be surprised for Apple to just kind of say fuck you to everybody else. We will only give you fast charging or super fast charging if you buy our charger.
Yep.
You can see that coming, right?
Actually,
Apple preferred.
They could go to a lot of these EV routes and charge you a monthly fee for fast charging.
Oh no!
I could see them doing that. I could see them doing that with gallium nitride, and then if third-party manufacturers have the GaN chargers, it would work. And I know people would be mad, but if you think about like how hot phones get, like my iPhone got warm and it was plugged in charging from my laptop. They get like, because it's actually outputting the full beyond the rated. That's why they do the 20 watt thing, but technically it can do up to 27 watts. If they can regulate that temperature, I understand it. And the licensing, people get mad at it, but it's like, okay, so you license it so third-party companies know what specific specs are required. 2.5 amps at 20 volts or whatever, things like that, so that you don't have things running rampant. Because right now, the one thing with USB-C is there's still no set standard. Like Thunderbolt 4 requires specific data transfer speeds, but as far as charging speeds, there's not like every charger has to have a 50 watt minimum set at 5 amps 10 volts or 2.5 amp 20 volt. And if you want above that, then obviously they have to include it, but there's not like some set protocol that can prevent issues really in place. So it's up to the device to regulate it or the manufacturer to regulate which chargers work with it. And they're not the only ones to do it. I mean, my Samsung Galaxy Book Pro 360 all the time likes to say, this isn't a Samsung charger. We're not going to charge above 5 watts. And I actually had a problem with their own universal charger. Samsung's universal charger wouldn't work with their own product. And I'm like, so companies do it. I mean, Xiaomi does it. There's also OnePlus, up until the OnePlus 9, they were using their own proprietary thing. And then they offered USB-C PD so you could use it. And I actually have OnePlus 9, 2 chargers that I was using. Funny enough, with my MacBook Air, because it was the 65 watt charger and the MacBook Air only came with the 35 watt. So I could charge it faster with a OnePlus charger than Apple's own charger with that. But they still have their own protocol where you can use a USB PD charger with their device, but it's not going to go the fast charging route. It's just, that's what companies do. So I'm just hoping to see it'd be nice to see an actual set standard.
Yeah. So one of the things I just wanted to touch on now that Delvon's joined us, he's having focus issues too. I'm just saying to Tuna,
right.
I don't know what's going on.
I turned my head to look at my wife and then it just lost me. I don't understand.
I just feel that my camera, I'm so ugly that it's blurring on purpose. Like that's the way I see it happen. I don't know what's going on.
It's the selfie focal length that's been on Twitter all week. That's what it is.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah.
Wow. I'm not bringing that up, I swear.
Wow. No, let's not talk about that one. Let's move on. So Delvon, I wanted to. I'm glad that you're here because you are the Pixel aficionado of our team here. And so today, Google has basically uncorked the Magic Eraser and all of their image editing software suite for other Android devices. What's your thoughts about that?
Is this thing focusing on my microphone right now?
You kind of a little bit.
It probably is.
There you go.
There you go.
Why? Like the contrast of it shouldn't even have focus on it.
Anyway, before you go, Delvin, is it only if you subscribe to Google One that you can get it on an iPhone, or it's just downloading the app? So you have to pay for it.
You have to be subscribed.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a little bit of a pay window there. They're still gonna make money.
Lost me again. Like I'm gonna go ahead and like.
Are you in the witness protection plan? I don't know if you're witness protection maybe or something. You got to watch out or.
I don't know. I just wanted to stay here, and I want my voice right here in the microphone. I don't know. All right. It's on my eye now. It's on my eye, so we good.
Okay.
Yeah. It's two things about that. I think it's a bad move, and I think it's a good move. Like I'm neutral with that because Google need to have some type of exclusive features that will want to get people to be up here.
Yes.
And you giving access to Magic Eraser, and there's a lot of people talking about it and they want it, but they kind of like iffy about getting a Pixel because they're an iPhone user. Maybe it's probably easier for an Android person to want a Pixel than an iPhone person, but there's features that I hear a lot of iPhone users like, I want that, I wish I had that, I wish I had that. That's the type of stuff that Google needs to have so they can pull people away to get their phone. Magic Eraser was kind of like one of those things, and now you're offering it to make more money. And that's where the good thing is for them, right? Because they're going to offer it under a paid subscription, so they're going to make money off it. But at the same time, if they didn't, people had to buy their phones to get it. So it's like I'm in between that. I think it's a smart move, and I think it's a dumb move at the same time, because eventually, people with Samsung phones and other Android phones are actually porting a lot of Google features onto those devices already, and that leaves Google with nothing exclusive, like nothing. So yeah, that's how I feel about that. I'm in between it.
What about everybody else? Is this a bad move from Google, Roddy?
I've been saying for a while, I agree with Delvon. It's like, I think there's certain things that all phone companies could do to like lure, if they're looking to lure people in or get people to, the magic word this week is switch.
Yes.
if they're looking to do that, I've been saying it for iPhones for a while, that they could easily sell iMessage. Like they could easily sell that as an app and probably make as much money or more than what they're making off of devices now. I mean, they have a premium product, and I told somebody that the other day. Is like the only reason I have an iPhone right now is because I have certain people that I text pictures and videos to, and I need those to come back to me that way. They're too old or don't understand how to do email or Dropbox or something like that. So it's just much easier for them just to shoot me a text. But outside of that, I don't really need an iPhone because everything else I do is on my Android. And it's one of the reasons why I didn't upgrade this year is just because I just don't use it enough. Yeah. But if they had a subscription service where I was paying $10 a month for iMessage on my Android phone, I'd pay that. I mean, I would.
I think a lot of people would. I think a lot of people would pay that.
To me, it would be like one of those things where it's kind of like I pay for other subscription services out there. So as something that I use kind of for work more than anything else, it would make a lot of sense. I know for some people it's just a text messaging deal, but for me, like being able to transfer documents and files and things like that via iMessage, it makes a lot of sense. So I think that they're, and especially if I could put it like on multiple computers and they charge you, per device, and it does, it becomes like a subscription service for everything else. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So to be 100% honest with you, I think it's a good way for Google to kind of lock that in so that they don't have all these companies going, oh, well, we have a Magic Eraser too, and all this kind of stuff. They just give up on it. Yeah, they just give up on it. And then like one day, who's to say that like if you own a Pixel phone, you get it for free, and then if you don't own the other phones, you got to pay for it. And there are those kind of things I think they could do to kind of like still keep it Pixel exclusive. But I think it seems to me like they've just decided, like they've looked at it and went, hey, everybody's going to come up with their own version of this. We might as well just put it out there, charge for it, et cetera, et cetera. And like Delvon said, when you start using Google featured stuff, typically stick with. I think most people stick with it. I mean, Gmail's a prime example of that. Google Photos, something that I used to never use. I use it all the time now. I've got Dropbox and several other things, but like I use Google Drive over everything else. So it's just kind of like my phone is basically a Google phone, other than it say Google on the back of it. And that's, that's one of the reasons why I bought, the Buds Pros and that sort of thing. So, I mean, it's just like, I think it's a good move. We'll just have to see. I'll be interested to see what Apple does if they're like cool and they don't talk about erasing anything, or all of a sudden they're like, oh no, our eraser is better, and just see what they do. But I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I think it's a good move on their part.
I actually think if you look at Apple, how you can essentially cut out around an image and put that into a text, that kind of concept. If they can do that so well already, Apple, with their hardware and their software, I actually think if anybody's going to be able to do it better, it probably would be Apple. Not to say, I mean, essentially it's a fucking Photoshop trick is what it is. But, when you've got the right engineers behind it, you can potentially level it up. And I think that's I could see that coming. Apple is going to be like, all right, Google, like you're giving this away to all your Android friends. Well, we've got to have something on the iPhone side to be an equivalent. We've got to keep it matched pair for pair. I don't know. To be honest with you, I think it was a bad move. I was surprised, I'll be honest with you. When I read that today, I'm like, this has got to be fake. Like, this can't be real. Like, it's those premium, exclusive Google-only features is what they used in their marketing for the Pixel 7 and the 7 Pro. That's what they sold that device on, that concept of you get this, and this if you go with Google. I don't know. Maybe they have something bigger planned. Maybe there's something better around the corner for the 8. Like maybe this is just saying, hey, if I take it, we don't need it anymore. Like typical Google, offloading all the garbage they don't want. And then someone goes and makes it better, right? So, I don't know. A very, very interesting kind of concept. Sam, how did you feel about that one?
Well, I'm kind of used to that. I mean, Microsoft's done it before with Cortana, right? That was, and those kind of things, and putting it on a PC. And so if you're trying to basically give, I mean, at the end of the day, Google gets paid for every device, right? Because it's licensing.
Yeah.
So, I think at that point, and I agree with Roddy, I think that's kind of a way to leverage, instead of having fragment, what we always complain about as Android users, right? Fragmentation. Because Samsung's got an app, and then LG had an app, and you got an app, and Google has an app. It's like, so this is a way to kind of head it off at the pass and not have to develop and let companies kind of go, and then they have to try to come up with their little thing that is a magic eraser. So I think I would say it's more positive because, it's people are going to buy a Pixel. They may go for magic eraser, but I don't think a lot of people are buying a Pixel only for that. I think it would be the price point and other things. And again, at the end of the day, it makes sense because it is their operating system. They're on top of Android. So, I've seen it before. I'm probably 70-30 for it.
Okay. And what about you, Mike? Final thought on the Google craziness.
So, for people who don't know, my brain likes to process 3 different things at the same time. So I have kind of 3 quick thoughts on this. One is Google is a data company. So by implementing it on other hardware and the fact that like Google Photos, they get that user data, that's a benefit to them to improve the experience no matter what hardware it's on. So it doesn't matter if it's their hardware, iOS, Samsung's version of software, things like that. The second thing kind of attached to that is I feel like more and more, some people are going to disagree with me on this one for sure, but that people aren't necessarily buying Pixels because they have the best cameras anymore, because there's a lot of devices that I think that gap has closed between the cameras they had. So what this does in a way is potentially it's Google's way of potentially pushing themselves to say, we're going to come up with things apart from the camera that set us apart. And they're already doing that with Google Assistant. They're doing that with like some of the call features.
Hey, Mike,
yeah,
can I
but not.
Mike, can I say something real quick?
Yeah,
just word. I'm not disagreeing with you, but to be honest with you, I don't think that average customers was actually buying pixels for their cameras. I think that's just a tech community thing because I feel like we care more about it. I just wanted to throw that out there because I never looked at.
So that's what I was getting at. So for the general consumer, then, because of the camera stuff becoming less and less a niche feature across the board, even for like the techies anymore, they're doing other stuff to draw techies in and the general user. And now I know we'll probably end up discussing this at some point, but RCS, the fact that it has end-to-end encryption, including group messages, it's not carrier based anymore. You have it working with a unified profile for it. There's stuff that they're doing that Google never really releases a feature to another company without thinking steps ahead that they're already going to have something else out. And I think that's part of it. But also, you're forcing, in a way, by allowing another company to use it, you're almost forcing competition against yourself in a way. It would be like if Apple were to release iMessage then they have to compete in another manner. And actually, that's kind of one reason I think they should, because then it forces them to improve on other aspects. And I think more and more companies, and I think that's going to change when the EU is set to rule on universal standards for social media and messaging, and they're set to basically say that, well, iMessage can't be a proprietary locked in thing anymore. You're going to have to open up the APIs and stuff. And I think they've kind of hinted that I think they were arguing against RCS. So when they do release it, it can look like they said, we didn't want to do this and we're doing it because it's better for the user. Because that's a marketing ploy. You say we're not going to do it, and then you give it to them so that it looks like you're giving them something that you were fighting. All these companies do that. That's one thing I detest about them the most, though.
Yeah. See, here's the thing, right? Right now, Apple's copying a lot of flack for iMessage, right? Because everyone else that uses Android devices, it just doesn't work. And they're pushing this RCS standard, which, for those of you who are listening, if you don't know anything about that, look that up. But if Apple really wanted to say, hey, we like our shit, like this is our thing, they should release it as an Android app. That way it's in direct competition with the RCS messaging services, and then people can have either both or take their pick, right? I mean, I'm sure there would be, like Roddy said, there will be a lot of Android users who would happily pay $10 a month to use iMessage. I mean, we were talking just before we started the show about Sunbird. So Sunbird is a messaging app which promises your ability to be able to have iMessage and text messages.
It's not just iMessage. It's like Telegram, Facebook Message, and all that. All the messaging in pretty much one app. Pretty much.
So we were 2&A and I were talking about the concept. Well, we both had issues with it. We were lucky enough just to try it this past couple of days. And granted, it was maybe just like the alpha version, but I had issues setting it up. So did he. And, one of the things that kind of caught a bit of a red flag in our mind is how they go about authenticating your iMessage account. 2&A, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I installed the app, and you make an account, and then you set up your messaging. So iMessage, SMS, Telegram, and Signal, all those aren't available yet. They're still working on it. So you get to the iMessage, you put in your iTunes information, and it just spins. And then I look at my iPhone, and it says something Mac Mini from Montreal, Canada. Do you allow this? Now, when you're setting up the app, it says, make sure you allow this because our servers are in Montreal. So I said, okay, I allowed it. Well, then it kicks me a number and it says, go to your Mac Mini and enter this number. Well, I don't have a Mac Mini. So I was talking with a couple people in the group chat, and I was like, what do I do? So I actually turned the iPhone off, tried it again, and it said, hey, we sent a number, type it in here. So I turned my iPhone back on. Well, then the app started force closing. So I uninstalled it, reinstalled it, force quit, cleared data. And now every time I go to log in with my iTunes account, the app just shuts off. So that kind of that's definitely some red flags right there. I mean, I don't use my iTunes account for my whole life like a lot of people do. I'm mostly an Android guy, but I just thought it'd be nice that the handful of people that I work with that do, most people I deal with don't have iPhones. They all have Android phones. So iMessage isn't a big deal for me, but the handful of people that do, it'd just be nice to not have to switch devices. But I don't know what
unified messaging system.
Right. But that thing about going into Montreal, Canada, I should have said, "Oh, those Canadians." No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
I was born in Australia. I'm a Canadian.
Here we go.
It's even worse.
I mean,
you're upside down all the time.
We got to keep it 100, right? iMessage is not even competing with like Telegram. It's not competing with Signal, WhatsApp. It's not competing with Facebook Messenger and all these top messaging up here. This is literally, this whole conversation is about us talking about the U.S. Literally.
That's it. Yeah, right.
And I don't think that, people think that iMessage is really that important, but it's really not. It's really just kind of isolated here. Even if they opened it up on an Android platform, I still don't see it dominating or people paying for a subscription, because why would they do that when they got WhatsApp, they got Telegram, they got Facebook messaging? It just doesn't really make a lot of sense. Now, again, I say this all the time. It's the tech community that's going to be spending the money trying it out. We care more than the average person half of the time. And then when it comes to the, I guess they say Gen Z, they're a bunch of kids and teenagers, right? Some of them don't got jobs. Some of them got iPhones from their parents, hand-me-downs, parents' payment plans. And now they got to, and if they have an Android phone, right, because their parents can't afford an iPhone, now they got to ask their parents, hey, can you pay for this subscription for me to be able to talk to my friends? And parents are probably not going to do that. I'm like, what's wrong with your phone? You can't just text them? And that's where their mind is going to be at. So this whole thing, with this whole iMessage thing, it's just so weird to me how, here in the US is just so important to everybody to receive, and how they receive a message is just insanely crazy to me. But that's what's happening here. And outside of here, everyone don't care about it. They literally don't care about it. If anything,
but I'll be honest with you.
WhatsApp is the majority.
I switched to the OnePlus 11, and because of iMessage, I got to switch back. I can't do it. My life, I felt like I couldn't breathe. I almost lost my job.
You got sweats.
My car broke down. My wife left me. My dog died. I mean, it's terrible.
Are you writing lyrics to a country music song? What are we doing?
But that's what
one of the things that got me, like, I tried WhatsApp, but I don't like the device number limitations. So Telegram, you can use it on the number of devices you want. The one thing that really bothers me, though, and so I don't even use iMessage necessarily because it's iMessage, but I use it because, like, it's on my watch, it's on my phone, it's on my tablet, it's on my computer. And Telegram, for a while you had a Telegram app, and then it went away on Wear OS, and then it was still on Watch OS, and then it went away on Watch OS. So the only real advantage I could see, and here's where I think Google could be ahead, and Dale Vaughn and I have talked about this before. If they were just to release Google Messages as an app where you sign into your Google account no matter what device you're on, kind of like how if you have Google Fi, you can access, all you have to do is sign in and you can access all your messages across devices. Just make it a Google Messages app, still have the support for the end-to-end encryption and all that, and make a Watch OS app and a Wear OS app, and you've killed the whole entire iMessage for a lot of people, because people already have a Gmail account. People already have a Google account. They're already signed in.
Have that.
I'm already signed in my Google account on my iPhone. So literally, when you go to, they could just pop up and send an email to everybody that has a Gmail account and an iPhone. I mean, they'd have to be careful and say, here's our new service, check this out. They have to be careful because obviously there's issues with just sending emails to, but I mean, all the companies do it. Samsung, when you get a new phone and you get that, like, have you set up your device yet? Or I get the emails telling me to buy an S23 Plus after I've already bought one. Like, they all do it, but just pop it.
You can always buy me one if you want. That's cool. I appreciate it.
Well, I'll just chime in here. So I was curious, just looking at some statistics of the most used messaging apps around the world. So not just within North America. So
it's not iMessage. It's going to be some weird app I've never heard of.
So I'll give you the rundown.
WeChat.
Yeah. Actually, you know what?
Yeah.
Let me share my screen here so you guys can see this.
Right.
1 second.
I feel like I'm at work at a Teams meeting. He's going to share a screen with me.
Well, why he's doing that?
Like
So I want to say something, and this is going back to what Delvon said, because I was reading stuff the other day too about this. Is it said that of people that have an iPhone, and you were talking about Gen Zers, it says they only make up 30% of the people who own iPhones. So they're not a big group of people that are young that own these, but
they're handing it down to their kids. When their kids get kids, and they're going to keep making it.
Right. Yeah. Eventually, but they were just talking about how they were talking about iMessage and how it's adopted and this, that, and the other. And a lot of people think it's just kids. And does it influence, how they were showing like the two phones next to each other. They were showing the new S23, just the regular one, and the 14 next to each other. And they said it's more about the product and how it's being presented versus anything to do with any of the features or any of that. And they were just saying like, those Gen Zers just don't want to be seen with an Android. And so that status symbol, and that's what they were saying. They were saying because 70% of the people who are older, like us and people, people that are adults, not kids, not Gen Zers, they really don't care. They just buy either what's simple, which is an iPhone, or they buy based on features or the way something looks or whatever, and they don't really care about brands. So that they were discussing like whether or not that's going to change, since the Gen Zers, when they grow up and become adults, are they still going to be the same way? And they were saying they did some kind of study showing that people typically don't do that. They don't stick with one device. They usually change over time. So I'm just wondering, like, like Delvon said, nobody's buying an iPhone because of iMessage. And used to, I thought having iMessage was so convenient because so many people have an iPhone in America. But now it's become one of those things where it's like, it's inconvenient for me. And so it's like, I really wish it would go away. But that's a preference thing. And going back to what I read about the thing about people changing, I had a group of friends they hated when I had an Android because I was green bubble, right? And you try to get in a group chat. Well, now that they're older, now most of them have Android phones. Like one of my friends that said, I thought you had an iPhone. He goes, I hadn't used an iPhone since 2019. And I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah. No, I was just and looking at for those of you who are looking at it, and what's curious about this breakdown here is, WhatsApp is number one. It's the most, and this is from 2021.
Is that a Facebook company? WhatsApp? Facebook, right?
WhatsApp is.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yes.
Also,
So it's funny. The top two messaging apps are made by Facebook, right? Jesus. So WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger.
You mean Meta,
WeChat,
right?
Yeah. Meta, sorry. Yeah. WeChat doesn't surprise me, especially in a lot of Asian countries. That is their go-to for messaging. Like that's their platform.
And it's built into like all the, like a lot of like the Xiaomi and Vivo phones have WeChat built in, like WePay is part of it and that. So
I'm surprised by Viber. Like I remember using Viber. I haven't used it in a million years, but like it's number 4 on the list. It's above Telegram.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, interesting, right? And I mean, even Snapchat, Line, like all of these ones, and then Signal right at the very bottom there, right? Like, I mean, it's a lot of some interesting kind of usage. I mean, I understand Facebook Messenger for anybody over the age of 30. That kind of makes sense. WhatsApp, it tends to be the hot and upcomer, the thing that the young people are using more and more.
And that's because like everyone outside the U.S. use WhatsApp, and in the U.S. we don't. So and everyone also uses Facebook Messenger inside here, like you say, the older generation. But it's not even the older generation anymore. It's like anybody with a Facebook account is using Messenger. I be getting random messages from people all the time. Yeah, because everyone's up there. And the only reason why you don't see iMessage up there is because it's isolated to iPhones. Everybody don't want iPhones. the U.S. I mean, not the U.S. The country. I mean, the world is still dominated by Android right now. So until that changes, iMessage will never be up there, and people using third-party apps and stuff. And from what I heard, and I don't know how true this is that the U.S. data is free, and our messaging is free, like SMS. In other countries, they charge for it, but their data is free. So that's why they seek out third-party apps. That's why it dominated, because SMS it cost them. At some point, it cost us too, but eventually became free, and then we just started, using it, and we were okay with that. But outside the United States, it wasn't free, and it still isn't free as far as what I know, and therefore everyone resorted to a third-party app, and that's why you see WhatsApp and everybody at the top and stuff like that.
But I agree with Mike. Like I hate WhatsApp. I don't like the layout. I don't like the number, how it's connected to your phone number, all of that. I mean, I use it because I've got friends at work who, that's their preferred messenger of choice. I also, in the building that I work in, I've got very crappy cell service. So a lot of the time,
you're in Canada, right?
Yeah.
Is it dominated? Is it dominating there too as well? WhatsApp? Is that your go-to message?
All the young people below the age of 25-ish, I would say, are all iPhone users, and then it kind of varies from there on out. A lot of people are using here in Canada, especially WhatsApp and Telegram are very popular. But it's dominated here too by like iMessage and I think Roddy said it. This concept of if you're not one of us, like you're a piece of shit. Like if you don't have an iPhone, you're not cool. Basically,
it's all the stigmas. Like saying Android doesn't take good pictures. I mean that people still say that. People still say that, and I'm like, are you kidding me? It's like it's just these stigmas that go around about the phone's being cheap or the phone's not being premium or they not taking good pictures and this, that, and the other. And I think it's all in marketing. So it's why we're seeing you think about the release of the newest Samsung right now. I mean, that they didn't just spend just a little bit of money. They spent a ton of money on two big time producers to make movies for them, just so that they could try to get rid of that stigma of we don't have good cameras. But that's what it boils down to. Apple has just marketed themselves so well to that people just think, oh, if I just buy an iPhone, all my worries go away. I saw it on Twitter this week. I got sick and tired and disgusted with it because people just act like it's an end all be all, kind of phone. It's not. No phone is perfect. No phone is perfect.
No. Do you have an iPhone? Do you own an iPhone?
I do.
So when you bought that iPhone, did you feel the pressures of life just dissipate from your life?
No, I felt obligated. I felt obligated to buy the iPhone. I felt like I had to buy it because so many people have it that I would have this. Right now, if I didn't have it, I would have to jump through hoops for about 10 people to get them to send me stuff, and it's really sad because if they would just download Telegram, we could send whatever we wanted to each other, really, just like we do with iMessage. But it's like you'd think I was asking for their firstborn child to get them just to download and sign up for an app like Telegram. So to me, I don't get it. Maybe it's because I am a tech person and I've used multiple devices and I'm just like, okay, I like this better than this or whatever.
The grass is greener.
it drives me insane that people that Delvon, there was I don't even remember that guy saying something about it took him 6 hours to download to share a video or something, and I was like dude, I have been a social media manager for major corporation companies and things like that, and I've had woes with iPhones. So him saying you got to have an iPhone to do this, I was like, no, actually, it's way worse with an iPhone because they don't shoot in a good format. So you usually have to convert the format before you can edit it and this, that, and the other. So I was done. When that happened, I was like, I'm done with Twitter. I'm not talking to anybody. I'm not tweeting for the rest of the week. I was just like, but it's true. That mentality just drives me. I don't get it. I don't understand.
It's like, hey, I can't have an iPhone or an Android device because I can't FaceTime. Well, there's so many apps out there, and Google Meet is not that hard. I get it. You have to install another app, but how hard is that? I don't.
You have to understand. It is 2023. and we have human beings walking around on this earth who believe it's flat. That's that's a thing.
That's messed up.
I'm just saying, you know what I mean? And this is a little bit more nuanced, but I mean, you have people that live in their own.
It's not flat,
and they're not going to. No, it's not flat. Not flat at all.
I just learned something new today.
Right.
That's awesome.
So,
Dr. Sam coming in handy right there.
Trying to dislodge that bias, you're not going to. You're just not. And that's why Apple does what they do, because they realize that you can't undo that.
I have a theory on this camera situation, right? Why the young generation or generations so on think that iPhones have better cameras than Androids, and why it's probably never going to go away. It's because if you think about it, Apple makes one iPhone, right? They put that same camera in every single iPhone. So whatever quality the next person who has an iPhone is going to be the same as that quality over and over and over and over. Android, right? You can buy a cheap Android, you can buy an expensive Android, but everyone is not buying the same Android. Hence, everyone has a different type of camera quality. So because of that different type of camera quality, when they see it, you know, they think it's all bad. I can't count how many times people have seen my Pixel or my Galaxy camera quality and be like, oh my God, that's good for an Android. This is what they say because they never seen camera quality that good. And then normally, again, I know all of us can probably relate to this in this chat right now, is that sometimes you become the photographer at the events because your camera is better than every iPhone camera out there. And and you take over taking pictures. But it's, again, everyone who uses an iPhone is using FaceTime and they're using it for pictures, and the quality is the same from every iPhone to every iPhone because because Apple is using the same camera on all their devices. So people get in this mind that the cameras is good for everybody. When iPhone cameras, to me, they used to be good, and they just, you know, the more I got into photography, I learned how bad the iPhone camera really is. At least in color production, their colors is really bad. People don't think so. People love it. It looks natural to everybody. I look, I'm not going against anybody for that or whatever. I even seen Denmark talk about they have like this good colors and all stuff like that. And I'm like, what are they seeing? Because in the real world, I don't see everything warm. I don't know.
Yeah,
yellow. There's golden hour days. Yeah.
Hey, guess what? S22 on AT&T is getting its 5.1 as we speak.
Nice.
So here's something that I thought was interesting. So I did a couple quick videos, one with the front camera and one with the main rear camera on my S23 Plus, and I uploaded both of them as shorts and TikTok videos. Those things looked awful on there. I'm curious if I transfer those to my iPhone and upload them from my iPhone, if they look any different, because I don't know if it's YouTube, if it's TikTok, what they're doing uploading from that, because I have uploaded shorts and I have uploaded TikTok videos taken on Android devices by transferring them to my computer. No, I recorded them from the native camera at 4K 60, and they look great on the device, but when I upload, they look trash. It's like it can't process them right. They uploaded quick, I can tell you that. It's really weird though. And so
we told you iPhone cameras were better. See, so you can't even upload a video.
Theory you just had is totally messed. It's totally wrong.
So
that's just software optimization. That's all it is. It's hardware optimization. That goes across the board.
It's the problem that Dale was talking about. The apps have to appease to the lowest common denominator, and if there's Android devices that have a 3 megapixel crappy camera all the way up to, you know, awesome, incredible things that the Pixel and Samsung devices are doing, they can't moderate for it. And so when they upload, they just upload at whatever. But I wanted to do it as a test, and I had several people commenting like, oh, you need to do something different. I'm like, this was literally showing a test for what it looks like in a short and a TikTok. Like, that was the point. It's interesting. I've had discussions with people like this all the time, and they're like, that's the thing. They don't want to have to necessarily take it and transfer it to their computer to upload. So that's why some people do stick to the iPhone, because those apps, they can just upload, you know, straight through it or record with it and upload straight. And I get that. And it's cool though, but like Samsung is starting to push more for doing that, and they're working with companies.
They are
doing
Snapchat.
But they need to get outside of Snapchat. They need to get outside of Snapchat.
No one uses Snapchat according to that list.
Well, at the time when they partnered with them, everyone complains about Snapchat, but you're right. TikTok is like the new thing. So they need to, Google and Samsung need to just partner with TikTok because, a lot of creators talk about they don't want to switch over because of like their videos are not that great coming out of the Android phones for TikTok and stuff like that. And they really don't talk about Snapchat anymore. So
no,
you're right. And again, that goes back to, iPhone having one camera for all their phones versus multiple Android cameras and stuff like that. So it's like they can't develop for like one Android phone. As you can see that they started as you see, they started to develop just for Samsung phones and Pixel phones, but every other Android in the world is left out right now because you can't just do that to all of them at one time. So I don't know, man. It's always going to be this way because Google is not going to pull Android from other OEMs. So it's always
Michael, I'm going to see a thumbnail pretty soon on next Pepper video of him saying why I switched back to iPhone because I couldn't upload a TikTok. There you go. You got your next video. We worked for you.
Actually, I'm gonna test some things, and I want to see because I like to educate people. So it's not like I'm saying, oh, the iPhone's better for doing this. I'm literally using the device, and this is the result I'm showing you. And then it's
but somebody told me we like clickbait.
It looks crappy, so
we love it.
I mean, the thing
that was a little too close to the microphone. Sorry.
I always mention using the tool for the right tasks. So, my thing is, I have no problem with somebody literally. One of the main reasons I even use my iPhone anymore after getting this is to record videos on the device that I'm using because I can't use the device to record itself. And then
because it has better video
device in the same and because of I can airdrop the video over. One of the things that's been really neat is when I take a thumbnail and I just press and hold on it in Photos and hit copy, and then I hit Command V on my computer inside Pixelmator, and it just pastes it right in, so I don't even have to.
Bro, when is Samsung getting that?
Or send
Samsung normally rip off every Apple feature.
So
you need that.
The thing is that I might sound excited, but if you think about it, okay, in my day-to-day life, the things that I do that I enjoy with content creation, it's just made easier with my iPhone. But everything else, I'm literally doing on this device. I'm tweeting, I'm scrolling, I'm watching Netflix, I'm doing everything else, and blowing away the battery life of my iPhone with this thing right here because that's the tool that does everything else best for me. It's like Dale Vaughn, you like your cameras. You're not gonna
do a phone.
You love your you love your Canons.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you're doing some shoot and you discover that the Canon doesn't handle really well, and let's say you're shooting a wedding with somebody else and they have some Nikon and you're seeing something. I don't think that you would necessarily keep using a Canon for a certain task if another camera did some new thing better for you and saved you time.
Oh, absolutely. You already know that.
So that's the same thing. It's I don't care. It's the brand. It's not the brand. It's the product and the outcome. It's the end result.
That's why
what task you're doing.
And Mike, that's why I do not create on my phone because we have cameras in the world. Why would I use this shitty thing to create when I could get better quality? But look, no knock to you or anybody who uses a phone because some people like it because of the convenience. But I'd rather have the inconvenience for the better quality, the better lighting control. As you can see, you can't get this type of control with iPhone. It's going to be just one ISO and it's going to
look like an orange.
Yeah, you're going to be an orange. And then also you got to use a third-party app that you got to pay for or it's a subscription. It's just too much. Get a camera. Get good quality, done deal. And then you can upload that to my iPhone and then upload it to YouTube.
I think someone gave us a tip a couple episodes ago that at least for Android, if you're having trouble with video, if you're having an iPhone and an Android side by side, if you smear water on the Android camera lens, it usually comes out better. That's what I was told. Or maybe some Vaseline or some lotion.
I thought you were supposed to use Vaseline or
we don't want to know.
Is that you're supposed to take your finger and you put the mess up that camera, right? Just like that. And then you put the post a comparison of an iPhone and Android phone and say which one is better. That's all I know. That's all I know.
But Lord.
So this week up on Twitter, we've had a lot of fire between some creators regarding these I'm changing videos and all of this.
Not me at all. Like, not me.
No.
I wasn't a part of that at all.
I'm switching from the Pixel 7 Pro to the Pixel 8 Pro.
Yeah.
That's going to be my thumbnail.
I've never had so much enjoyment reading the absolute fucking TNT that went off. TNT that went off between people this week on Twitter, especially.
I don't understand why we got so. Look, I mean, I think it's like a catch-22. People make these clickbaits because they want views. I get it. You want to have views, but the other side of it is you want to be honest. So to me, it's kind of like I was on the both sides. It was really funny watching it, and I'm not going to mention their names, but I just saw a tweet today, and the person's like, "I'm done with the tech community. I'm totally." Come on, just take your lumps and let's move on. I don't understand why we have to be. We're all doing the same thing. It's just different how we get there.
So that tweet was not related to that.
Okay, good.
It was related to another situation, and I was actually involved in it. So I had made a comment in a live stream, and he replied, and everybody took it wrong, not understanding that T and I have a different, like, I've been around him for a long time, and I understood what he meant. They took it in the wrong context. He actually messaged me right after the stream, and it was like, I hope you know. And I'm like, I said right away that I didn't take offense. Here's what goes on in the tech space. People are offended for other people without asking if they're offended. So like, I'm writing, your viewers will let you know if they're offended or they won't watch. So with the I'm switching thing, or like if I ask something and somebody says something, I will let you know if I'm offended. That's what, like, I think that people think that other people are not going to say something. They will. If they're really that offended or that upset, they'll let you know, and it happens. And that's really what goes on with, like, I don't need you to be offended for me. I can do it myself. Like, if I really have a problem. And then there's people getting offended for, like, big creators too. Like, there was that thing with Jenna Azaric had her video on this. It was on this car dash cam, and there was somebody that made a comment about her being paid, and it's like, really? Yes, because the cost of that dash cam is not enough for her to sustain her life, and like, people got offended. I'm like, if she had a problem, she's gonna say something. Like, we don't need everybody to stand up for other people. If they have a problem, I'm gonna say something. If I have a problem, if I was on Sam's podcast and he said something that offended me, I would have let him know. If I'm on this podcast and Darren said something that offended me, I'm just going to flip him off and walk away. No, just kidding. I'm going to let him know.
But I guess my question is, if we're talking about how offended can he really get?
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm a Bears fan, but I don't get checks from Hallis Hall. Like, the Bears aren't sending me money. So the Bears can lose every game for 10 fucking seasons and I'll still be a fan. But I mean, if I make it personal, like Michael Pepper is on my show and he's an idiot because he uses this, then I've crossed that line.
Right.
But if we're just talking about straight tech, just laugh.
I don't understand. Honestly, I don't give a flying fuck what anybody thinks. Who gives a shit?
You know what?
I mean,
exactly. I agree.
So what? But I mean, if you make it personal, well then you can take offense to it. But I've had people take shots at me for 47 years. I mean, why would I get offended? I mean, even as a kid. I mean, I was like a little kid and people take shots, picked on me and stuff. You know what I mean? It's like,
oh God,
you can't fight every fucking battle in your entire life and you're going to go stir crazy for it. You just got to go, whatever, man, fine. I don't care. If you don't want to come on my show, go fuck yourself. I don't really
But if you're a big YouTuber, one person saying something, who gives a crap? Move on. Exactly. You're making your videos. Yeah. You're not going to have not everyone's going to like you. It's like the president. Not everyone's going to like the president we have. Not everyone's going to like the phone you have. Just let it go.
So now, buddy, I just shared a tweet a second ago and I posted this, what was it, the 12th of February. I said, why are so many people on Twitter worried about who hangs out with them and is loyal to them? These are not your real friends. Move on and stop being a loser. And, while that's, maybe harshly worded, but that's kind of what it boils down to. These influencers these content creators, whatever you want to fucking call them, these people, like you said, Junie, no, you can't please everybody. You just can't. Everyone's always going to have an opinion about everything. That's human nature. But when you get your nose bent out of joint, when one person says something to you and, I'm leaving Twitter, you're packing your bags up and you're fucking heading out the door. Like, fuck off with that shit, because you won't. You'll be back the next day. You'll be bitching about the person who fucking put you in your place. And then, the world starts all over again. But again, I agree with you, Sam. Like, who cares?
Well, when I quit Facebook, I didn't broadcast it. I just went in there, and I just deleted it. I didn't tell anybody. Yeah, then I had people a couple days later going, "Hey, man, I noticed that you're not on Facebook." I said, "Yeah." Oh, you weren't going to tell anybody? Yeah. I don't owe you shit.
I mean, people broadcast because they want attention. They want attention.
That's right. That's right. That's the problem.
It's not about putting my business in the street. If I was done with Facebook, which I am, and I still don't have Facebook. I'm never going to have it. But I don't have to sit there and kind of just, get that engagement. It's like, well, I'm going to switch to an iPhone. Okay, well, great. But you're not? But I mean, that generates enough. I mean, people don't have enough emotional energy. I got way better shit to deal with.
Yeah, but if that was face to face, that would never happen. People behind keyboards have more confidence to rip someone apart unless they're face to face.
Oh no, maybe in your life, but I've had people get in my face about.
No, I'm not saying it never happens. I'm saying, but someone
got punched.
No, I'm just saying people are more likely to overreact and call somebody out behind a keyboard than they would in real life. That's what I mean. I'm not saying it never happens.
No, I was talking about saying when he said people got in his face. I said when they got punched. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It's like, but I again, if you want to go ahead and fight that war, then go ahead. But I just have my emotional energy is better spent in taking care of myself than trying to sit here, because realize you're not going to defeat their bias. You're not going to say, like, everybody thinks there's a magic fucking sentence, and all of a sudden go, oh, well, now that you said it that way after 10 years, now it makes sense. No, they're in there. That's the hill they're going to die on, and that's fine.
Yeah,
but exactly. I don't know why people engage and sit there. Like, maybe if I say a paragraph or a certain word or make a point, they're going to, well, okay, well, then that makes sense. I'll go ahead and just flip camp, right? And maybe they will, but that's organic. You're not going to convince me.
But Sam, you're 100% correct. There is no magic word. There's nothing, like, you can't change someone's opinion. And that, again, that's maybe what more to do with human nature. That's what we do as human beings. We formulate opinions, our own opinions about the things that we like and the things that we don't. But they try and try in the comments section. They try to kind of direct it right at this person. At the end of the day, again, you can say what you need to say, and either they're going to fucking say, fuck you, I'm not paying attention to you anymore, and go on their way. Or they might eventually one day see your point of view, but it won't be today.
Yeah, it's an organic epiphany, right? It's you deciding, listening to enough data and reading enough stuff. Maybe you go, okay, well now
are we playing peekaboo over here? I'm not sure what's going on.
Well,
we're doing something.
Joe's like, no pictures, no comments. I got nothing to say.
Y'all got that nice shot of that Spider-Man back there, though. That's all. There you go.
Focus on Spider-Man.
Who's I saying?
Focus on everything but you. It's crazy.
But me. I'm right
here. Is that Sony or is that what are you using? Sony? Canon?
It's a Canon. Yeah, maybe I need more.
Eye tracking is just picking up the wrong eyes.
Maybe there's a lighting thing. Yeah. I don't know.
You know what my favorite thing about social media and Twitter is? I hit and nothing more happy than to be scrolling through Twitter and find a message from like an hour or like a tweet from an hour or 2 hours before that. But somebody being offended, knowing that they were offended on my behalf, and never asked me, put out a tweet, don't tag me in it. There's nothing better than being offended on my behalf without asking. Or
don't worry, Michael, you got a bunch of people in
it's funny.
The Pepper Gang are going to sit there and step to it and get on a battle.
You've done something right when people are offended on your behalf as well. Yeah. So that's like, okay, cool. You're gonna like, or the craziest thing though was when I got the Samsung Galaxy Book Pro 360 and I put out a video calling out Samsung for their marketing and how they marketed it as like being as easy to set up as a phone and being able to like edit 4K video on it, and that I did all that stuff and I showed you couldn't do it. And somebody said that Samsung should sue me for like slander or something. And I was like, good luck with that. Do you not know what slander and libel actually mean? Goodbye. And I muted them. I was like, that mute button's great because they can comment all they want and they won't know.
I've never muted anybody.
They can have all that. You're fine.
I've never muted somebody. I've never blocked somebody. I've never blocked anybody. I've had
from channel is
like my videos are terrible and I get a lot of really shitty comments, but I'm like, okay, I actually respond back. Hey, thanks for the feedback. I'll take it in consideration. That's all I say.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to win that argument.
You. I'm sorry for those comments. I'm just trying to inspire you. No, oh,
hey. No, I get it. My subscribe count doesn't go up. It goes down. So,
well, I'll say this. On my YouTube channel, I did have to block one guy because he kept begging me to buy my laptop. My Twitter account, I have a long block list. Yeah. Personally, the more that I got into this YouTube and the brands start sending me stuff and I start, they love my photography, they love my advertising and everything like that.
Yeah.
I've learned that every comment that I get doesn't need a response. And I try to only talk positive on my account because I want my account to look professional, especially if I got brands looking at me now.
That's true. I get that.
Up. So it's very important that I keep it 100% professional. Sorry. So I do not argue with any of these people anymore at all. I don't even get into that or whatever. But I do have like soldiers like King that's not in here today who will step up and say something in my behalf because he knows all the time. But like, look, King, you know, I don't want this drama. He's like, I got you, homie. I got you. You know what I'm saying? And he go do his thing or whatever because, you know, he missed. I don't give a fuck, you know. But with that being said, is that I just try to keep everything 100% professional. And a lot of people do say things and they want to trigger you. And it's like you want to say something, but you already know that you're not going to win. They're not going to win because they're going to try to change you. You're going to try to not really change them. You're just kind of like giving your opinion, but they look at it as if you trying to get an agreement out of them because they don't see it the way you see it. So when it comes to a lot of this tech, I'm more neutral grounded. I never call myself unbiased or anything like that, but I try to respond unbiased with everything that I do. I try to keep bias out of it. Everyone knows I love my Pixel. And if you ask me what's the best phone on the market, I'm going to say a Pixel. Is that the real reality of it? No, I'm very aware that it's not the best phone out there or with hardware, but it's the best phone for me. And I'm not, and I'm not being biased towards it. I'm not going to sit here and say that this is the best phone. I would say this is the best phone for me. That helps me keep that from being unbiased about it. But it's always going to be my go-to, and there's my focus again. Just my camera, it don't love me today, and I got to do a video right behind that, so I hope it don't mess up. Like
that's the same thing with a car. You know, I'm not a big Ram fan. I'm not a big Chrysler, Daimler, Chrysler, Fiat, Chrysler guy. I'm not. But if you bought a Dodge Ram, cool. All right, fine. You like it. If you like the car and you spent 60, 70, whatever thousand, then fine. Okay, cool. I don't rock like that. I have a Mustang, and you can call me a shit stang or whatever. You can make fun of me because it's only the EcoBoost 4. So fine. I don't give a shit. Here's the thing. It's my $25K, and I get to drive the fucking car. So I don't give a shit if you don't like it. And if you could buy a Tesla, cool. I don't. But if I had $100,000 to spend, I'm getting one of those new dark horses that's coming out. Those are badass. I'm not buying a Tesla. That's just not happening. But that's me. If you ask me what's the best car in the world as far as fun to drive, I've never had more of a fun experience operating a car than in my Mustang.
Definitely a Yugo.
Best car I've ever owned.
Definitely a Yugo.
But it's not. It's not for snow. I can't really put 4 people in it. But again, but if you. To actually live in a world where I see that Roddy is going to go to see the Challenger and going to go see the Dodge and go, Dodge sucks, cool. You're a fucking shill. You're a dork. Why would you go do that? I mean, why do you even live in that space? I'm like, I wouldn't go to the show because I'm not interested in those cars, but he gets to go. Cool, man, rock on. If that's what floats your boat and you want to see it, go do you, man. It's your money, it's your life. And I don't have to make you personally feel bad or have to throw shade at you because you choose a car brand or a camera brand. I think that's just, I mean, God, it's just so, I don't have the energy for it. I just don't really care that much, honestly.
I like tech in general, so I'll go see electric vehicle. I'm not saying I'd buy one right now. I don't think we're ready yet, but I just like to sit in one and drive one and see what it's like. That's
I've driven one. They're cool, but I've
never driven one, so
I test drove one and I was like, I'm not ready. Just not ready.
If I had $100,000 to spend, I'm moving and then I'm flying out to where Dale Vaughn is, so he can take 5-year anniversary pictures for me and my wife, and I'm buying him a lens that focuses on him while I'm there too.
We're totally out of focus all the time.
I am not a video guy. I'm a photographer. Don't come at me, bro.
Delvon, I have a theory. I have a theory that it's picking up on the eyes of the black and white photo behind your head. That's my theory. This one right here, the one over, right behind your head there. You know, you can see it's a Spider-Man.
There you go,
that one.
Yeah.
I actually think it's picking up on that.
You might be right.
It could also be the movement from the screensaver on his computer because it could be throwing it off. Like the focus on bright.
This is like kind of like Where's Waldo. It's like Where's Waldo. Let's pick up what it's focusing on. Let's play a game.
Like the tracking is on my eye.
It's supposed to be eyes.
Yes. It's supposed to stay on my eye, but it keep leaving my eye. Now it's on my face when okay, wait.
Hey, see, if you would have used a smartphone, you wouldn't have had that problem.
He just needs blur. He needs the pixel on blur for video.
Maybe I gotta take my glasses off because it's on my eye now. It's up there now. Look at that.
Yeah, the reflection maybe.
Yeah,
it's not even missing a beat now.
It's going to be darkening out. That's true.
It causes a problem because like my Sony does the same thing with my glasses. If I have my glasses on, it wants to focus on like the microphone in front of me, anything that's not representative of a face. Like I'm like.
Well, listen, that actually brings us to the end of today's show, guys. And you guys, Sam, I just want to touch on what you said there. And I think you kind of put the nail on the head there. Basically, the lesson for all this shit that's happening in the world of Twitter today, right now, is do your own thing. Don't care about what other people are doing. Exactly. You don't need to voice your opinion about every single little thing. Some things are better left unsaid. And I think that's probably the best way to leave today's show. But thank you very much to Delvon, Sam, Mike, T2NA. I must call you TNA. 2NA and Roddy.
I think that works. I think that's acceptable. I think that's okay.
That did not come
doing after the show. But listen, guys, we will be back again on next Thursday at 7:30. Thank you very much for tuning in today to TNT, our weekly Tech podcast. And you can catch all these lovely people up on Twitter. Look them up. You will find their usernames.
You won't find me
out there. You won't find Sam. Sam's a mystery. It's kind of like a game. You have to try to find where he is.
Yeah.
But great conversation today, guys. For everyone that's watching and listening, you can catch us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Audible, Anchor, you name it. We're out there. And if you love tech, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And thanks very much, guys. Awesome job. Right. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
See you guys.